And welcome everyone. Here we are on another designer show. We got John on the call. I'm
Everybody.
Dan. Nice to see you. Robin said she'd be joining us, but she's not here yet. So we'll give her a chance to get logged in. I know she was out in the field and she said she might log in with her iPad. So we're here today to answer your questions about Chief Architect. So if you have any, let us know. If you have some comments, please put them in the comments and we will do our best to answer them. I've gotten a few emails. John and I were just discussing some of the emails that I've gotten with your questions. So we'll start with some of those. And let me start with Margaret's questions. Actually, I suppose before we do that, I should go over to the Chief Expert's website and talk about that for a second, do our quick commercial. So over at Chief Expert Academy, just a couple things. First of all, oh, there's Robin.
Hi. I'm
Hi.
in my car, you guys. Sorry.
That's all right. Nice to see you. Glad you could make it. So
I'm not driving. I just have to figure to put you.
All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen, and let's get over there. All right, here we are. So over at Chief Experts Academy, many of you have logged in to this through our RSVP for the Designer Show. Just want you to know we do this every first and third Friday of the month. And if you want to watch the replays, there's a little link down here you can click, or you can just go to the blog. We always post our updates in the blog. And so there are the shows in the blog. If you scroll down, you'll see some categories down here. And if you want to just go right to the shows, there's your Chief Designer Show. So there you go. And we've still, we just finished up our kitchen design course, which you can certainly get to if you're still interested in watching the replays of that. That's this Kitchen Design Master, Chief Architect. You can still register for that and go through the course if you want to. We've got some other things that we're working on that'll be coming soon, plus all the other courses that we do with Chief Architect. So check us out. Let us know if you have any questions. Thanks. Okay. And I got to get rid of that pop-up. Drives me nuts. All right. But they work. People respond to them, I guess. That's what the web people say. Okay. So with that, let me get my mic in place a little better. So we have some questions, and Robin and John, feel free to chime in anytime with your comments or questions, and we'll be glad to go through those. So Margaret had a question about, she said it's a stupid question. And Margaret, there are no stupid questions. You should know that by now. Yeah. The only stupid question is the question that doesn't get asked, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Unless it's from the thread I was reading this morning on Facebook from Kyle Hunt's group, then where some people were talking about some really horrible clients that I won't get into it, but I'm sure we've all had some of those.
Nah, never.
Never. No. The client that the 1 in 10 client that will not let you make a profit on your job, no matter what. Yeah. And they're there. They happen. The key is to figure out how to avoid more of them. So the 1 in 10 you do end up with isn't as bad as the 1 in 10 you normally get. Go figure those odds, son. All right. So Margaret asked, when I'm in layout and trying to align text or JPEGs, I can never quite get them to align properly because the cursor grabs the JPEG in the center. So my long cursor lines do me no good in aligning the bottoms of the JPEGs. All right, so let's go find some pictures on my computer and we'll align them. Let me go to Dropbox. The alignment tools in Chief actually work quite well. So John and Robin, do you use the alignment tools at all?
I have started using them a lot. I love them.
I do too. Yeah, I hadn't used them for a while. How about you, Robin? You were saying?
I have not been using them, so I need to learn how to use them.
All right, cool. They're actually quite simple once you realize that they're there. So let me just find something I can bring in here. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop some pictures into my plan. These are, I don't know, I just opened a folder on my computer. So I'm just going to select some photos. Let's pretend these are photos from your job that you've been working on, and you want to bring them into your plan. It doesn't matter if it's on the plan, the layout, doesn't matter. So let me just draw some walls quick. And I'm going to just draw a shape like this. So I want to demonstrate something here in a little bit. Oops. And again, draw your walls with your right mouse button. Get used to that. Makes it really easy.
Hey, I have a question while you're there.
Yeah.
It seems like Chief used to keep the walls together when you would move them.
When you would go like this?
Yep, and it's still doing that. So there's a button hidden somewhere that makes that stay together, because a lot of my plans, they're not staying together anymore.
Really? They're coming apart. I know if you use the tab key to move it, so if I want to move that wall 48 inches to the right, actually, usually, so if I highlight the wall, grab it, hit my tab key, and now I move it 48 inches,
yep.
Oh, it used to unhook. So
there's got to be a button somewhere.
Not aware of one.
Okay,
so
try it on mine quick. Go ahead.
So
and
Dan,
try it on mine quick.
It does come apart for various reasons. Yeah.
Can I ask a question? Why do you draw? You said draw the walls with your right mouse button. Why do you do that? What's the reasoning for that?
Okay, so let's demonstrate with some lines.
Margaret, we'll get to your answer, really, your question. But
oh yeah, this is all part of the whole fun of this thing, is just being able to do this. By the way, if someone could do a comment so that we know that you're listening or hearing us, that would be awesome. So in the comments thing, if you could type in, I know I had some issues with my website. The comments things weren't showing up properly. I hope they're working okay. If they're not, click on the video and go to YouTube. And you should get right to there we go. Start with right. So what I want to show you is, since walls are made of lines, everything in Chief starts with a line. All right, I'm going to demonstrate with a line here. So when I draw a line and I let go of my mouse, and then I have to get my cursor positioned right on that corner again to continue with that line. See how I can, okay, if I draw with my right mouse button, which I'm doing right now, and I let go, see how that line stays hooked, and I click, move, click, move, click, move, click. So you could do the same thing with walls. If you draw with your right mouse button with a wall, you're drawing like a CAD line. And right now I have my right mouse button held down. And so my wall just stays hooked to that corner. And I can just kind of click, click, click all the way through. Really easy to lay out shapes and things like that, instead of clicking with your left button each time. So you always have to keep the corner lined up, and it's you have to be more precise. It's just faster, save you some time. Okay, back to that question. And by the way, you guys can feel free to type your questions into the chat box too. Oh, hi, you guys. We got look at everybody chatting already. All right, cool. All right, Mike and Facebook, Ken, Norman, Greg, thanks guys for being here. Nina, how you doing? In Alaska. All right, you guys, thanks. Makes the wall act like a sticky to the cursor. That's a good way to describe it, Mike. Thanks. Appreciate that. In Indiana. Hey, team, how do I break a gutter line? Okay, we'll come back to that. All right, so when you have pictures, I want to import a bunch of pictures to my plan. So I've opened a folder, I've grabbed some pictures, and I'm just going to drag them onto the screen. Anything that you can import, so anything on this list of import things, you can just drag onto the screen. You don't have to go through the import process.
Nice.
Just dragging it onto the screen will start that import process. So if I bring in a bunch of these pictures and I just drag them onto the screen, what Chief is going to do is fill the screen as much as it can with those pictures. It's like, oh, then now I got to go click on each of these pictures and resize them and, make them work in my plan. So I'm going to undo that. The trick to make that work a whole lot easier is to, I guess I have to undo because it brought in each picture. What's my coffee shop? I guess I brought in a bunch of them. Okay. Zoom into the area where you want to put the pictures. Zoom way in. Remember, the pictures and the PDFs, anything you import, will fill the screen as much as it can. So if you just zoom into the area where you want to place them, drag them to the screen. This will save you a ton of time. Okay. Click OK. And now you see they're nice and tiny right there. Now I don't have to go resize a whole bunch of them and do all of that. But now I need to pull them apart. Now they're all stacked on each other. And I guess I grabbed this from one of my bike trips. I'm going to get rid of that.
Let's see if we can do that with the alignment tools.
To ungroup them all?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's try that. Actually, that's a really good idea. So what I want to do is I want to bring these pictures and
You might have to move one of them off of there to have a
I don't know.
set of space.
Hang on, I got to turn my pencil on. My writing tool did not turn on when I rebooted my computer. Let me go to my downloads. And there we go. Okay. So what I want to be able to do is take all these pictures and bring them out on the screen and keep them all lined up nicely. I want to keep the left side lined up nicely and have them equally spaced apart. Let's see if this works. So if I just marquee around the whole pile of pictures, I'm group selecting all of them. Okay, just by doing that. Now we've got two alignment tools down here. And to be honest, I'm not 100% sure what the difference between these two tools are. I just kind of usually click that one. And when I click that, we're going to have this align and distribute objects. Okay. So when you do this, just kind of look at the little pictures. So what I want to do is I want to move the objects vertically. That'd be up and down. Centers, I want to space them out evenly. And then I want to keep the left edge aligned. See what happens when I click OK. It didn't space them evenly. I have to space them out a little bit first.
Yeah, just move one, and then you should be able to do it.
I think so. Let's try it.
Yep.
Okay, so let me just move that one because I'm creating a bit of a. Now I'm giving Chief an idea of where how much I want to space them.
I think you need to do it. You're going to need to do it so that there's enough space for all of them to go between there, probably, because it's gonna space them between the top and the bottom one.
Oh, okay. Let's try that. I've never tried this particular method before, but there you go.
There it is.
John, you nailed it. So I got to space it apart a little bit further. So
do that again, please.
Okay. So I've got a whole stack of pictures that I just brought into my plan, which I do all the time. I'll go out to a job site and take a bunch of as-builts, and I want to just bring them into my plan so I can work on them. And a lot of times I like to line them up. So what I've done is I've moved one of let's just say these are all stacked up yet. So I've moved one off and I've created a whole gap here. So I want Chief to fill this all in between here. So I go like this. I'm going to space evenly, left edge, bam. That's really nice. John, we both learned something new here, or at least I did.
And that other button, the difference between the two buttons is one, the one on the right, you draw a line and you're going to align it according to the line.
Right. So now, yeah. So now if I have, my pictures are all goofy like this. All right. Now, and you can do this with any item in Chief, a text box. It doesn't matter as long as it has an edge to it. So if I want to, I could just, align these here. I could keep them spaced evenly. I could just say, don't move them either way. But align the left edge and then click OK. And now the left edge is aligned.
Wow.
All right. So that's a really nice way to clean all that up easily. So again, you can do that with text and everything else in your plan.
Wow.
So that was a great question, Margaret. Not a stupid question. All right. And let's see, did you have another one there, Margaret? I don't remember.
So you can
one more
use that
thing,
for
Dan.
anything.
Let's finish. Let's do a little bit more on this. Put a line on there at an angle.
A line at an angle. All right.
At an angle.
There we go.
And then select all your pictures. And click the one on the right. Now click the line. Now make it to the closest edge or something.
Closest to the edges.
Say OK.
Distribution, none, space evenly, distribute centers evenly. So you've got a bunch more options. And we click OK, and look at that. Bam. That's really nice.
So you can do this with any kind of CAD, any object in
any item. Correct.
Okay.
Any item that has an edge, which is everything, pretty much. So Yeah, it works well. I imagine, can we do that with windows? If I put a bunch of windows in, can I click on those windows and space them evenly between the first and the last? I should be able to hit space these centers of the windows, move object shoreline to the, no, not to the centers. I want to space evenly to the centers.
Two down. Go 2 down. Space evenly.
Oh, thank you. Yep. Okay. Space evenly. Well, probably centers would work. Well, no, the centers would be the center of that window. So if I click OK, bam, look at that.
Look at that.
How about that? Then we click center on wall and we click the center of that wall. Now we just put all those windows perfectly lined up on that wall. Look at that, man. Are we good or what?
That's amazing. But here's the thing, you guys. You just saved yourself 15 minutes. Make sure you bill for those 15 minutes. I swear, I feel like I'm like the nagging person, but don't cheat yourself out of income.
Our rates just went up.
Right? Your rates just
not down. All right. So yeah, because of this wonderful knowledge that we have, it enables us to do this quicker. You know, I've always told people that, you know, the first plan you do is going to take you, you know, 40 hours, a second plan, 20 hours, a third plan, 10 hours, you know, theoretically, but you still charge what it would take to do a complete set of plans, whether it's 10 hours or 40 hours. So anyway, okay. That's when you're just starting to learn Chief. Once you know Chief, yeah, don't change your rates, raise your rates. Yeah. Okay. The next question we have, any questions on the toolbar, John?
Yeah, about the roof planes, it's not roof planes, being able to turn a gutter off on a part of a roof plane.
Oh yeah. Let's go look at that. Let's throw a roof on this house, build a roof plane, and we want to have our gutters turned on, standard gutter, click OK. Now, when we click on this, we don't see the gutters. Okay.
Because the layer's turned off.
Because that layer's turned off. So if I go in here and I go to gutters and I click on that, you see that layer's turned off? You see that layer is also locked. Okay. You guys know what a molding polyline is, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what a gutter is. The Chief just adds it automatically. A ridge cap is a molding polyline. A gutter is a molding polyline. Okay. So if I were to go in here and I went to shut off.
The same thing you're going to do here with the roof, you can do the same thing with a molding polyline.
Exactly. So if I go in and turn off all my layers, and then let's just turn on gutters, and let's also turn on ridge, a ridge cap. I just want to show you this. And you see the ridge caps were locked too. Ridge caps, yeah, you probably don't want to mess with those. But here's your molding polylines that Chief added and attached those shapes to. Now the gutters are probably still locked here. So let me go to gutters and unlock it. So I could now select the line that Chief is using to add those gutters to my roof edges. Okay. And I could then modify that by breaking the line. Now, once you do this, just keep this in mind. Once you do this, Chief will not regenerate the gutters for your roof anymore. So make sure you don't do this too soon. Let's see. What did I do? What did I hit on that? I don't remember. I went too fast. Okay, let me go forward one more. Break key. That's not let me do it.
You need to do it on the roof edge, Dan.
I know. I'm just kind of showing people what roof things are, and I'll show them how to get rid of part of a gutter.
Sure.
Okay, so that's what they are. And now I know floor plan, since I turned the mic, I can't see them, and I can still select them here as well. No, I can't because I screwed something up.
Are they locked in that view?
Yeah, when I clicked that button, that menu, I went too fast. So let's go back here. Gutters are on. Let's unlock them. Now I should be able to select them. Yep, there we go. So there's that molding polyline. Generally, you're never gonna do it from here. Okay, you're not gonna select the molding polylines and edit the gutters from here. All I did was show you what a gutter is and how it's put on your plan. Why? I don't know, just because I could. Here's how you get rid of part of a gutter on part of a roof. Click on the roof edge, and put a break in that roof edge. Okay. So here's that roof edge now that I don't want a gutter on. Or, I want the gutter to wrap around a little bit, but I don't want it to be on the rest of this roof line. So break it right where you want it to end, and then click on that roof edge. Open the dialog for that roof edge. Go to gutter and say off on that edge. And then click OK. Let me rebuild that. I think I need to redo the roof because I screwed up on that menu. Let's build the roof over again so that regenerates all this. Okay.
You need to lock that.
Yeah, I don't know, but let's try it like this. So now I'm going to click on this edge, open its dialog. Let's just delete the gutter instead of turning it off. I've found that sometimes when I just hit off, it doesn't get rid of it. So I have to sometimes delete it on that edge. Still not going away. Do I have to have that locked for that to work?
I'll bet you do. Otherwise, it's probably not associated with the roof.
That could be. Let's rebuild the roof again then. If I just not wasted my time showing you that other stuff, because it's really not relevant to do this. Okay, the roof associated changed. You want to continue? Okay. All right. Now my gutters are locked. Let's break the roof edge. I just hit my 3 key to add a break. I'm going to click on that edge. I don't have the symbol to turn the molding off on that edge, but I'll just delete the gutter on that edge. Make it off. Click OK.
Do you have auto rebuild roofs turned on?
No, I don't.
It shouldn't matter, but
shouldn't, but I don't. That is strange. It should go away. The gutter should not be there now. You guys try that on your computer, see if it works. Click on the edge, break it, open its dialog, and turn the gutter off on that edge.
Here's another question for you in the meantime.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I put it up there for you.
Oh, all right. Hang on, I'm going to try this real quick. Build a new roof. Click the edge. Number 3, break. Click. Open. Gutter off. Let's just turn it off and see if that. Let's delete it. So it went off on the whole edge, not just the edge I broke. Shouldn't do that either. It should have wrapped around. Anyway, I'm going to have to play with that one.
That's the way it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
Next question.
All right. An elevation roof plan shows dashed lines, layers, green dashed lines. I want the elevation to be all solid lines. Oh, okay. If you're using my template, I think I have that setting screwed up. So when we click on one of these elevations, and we're seeing the roof edges in a vector view, black and white. Oh, maybe I fixed it in this template. But what's happening is in this particular layer set elevation full view, elevation full view quarter, I have, if you go to your roof lines, this is a situation where you say something doesn't look right on the screen, or something's not showing on the screen, or something on the screen I want to get rid of. Your first question would be, how do I affect what I see on the screen? Layers. It's always layers. All right. So if you're getting green dotted lines on the screen, go to your roof lines, roof planes, and they're probably green dotted lines in that layer set. Go ahead and make them. So what you're probably seeing is this right here, green dotted lines. Just go change them to solid. So if you're seeing it look like that, of course you don't want that. So you, again, just go to your layers. You could just click on the color thing and find all the greens, and it'll probably have the roof plane on there. Just select the black and turn it back into black solid lines, or whatever color you want, and you'll be good to go. And you could even change the line weight to make them darker if you want. And
I just did the gutter the way that you were doing it, and it worked fine on my plan.
So I'm clicking something wrong. So that's the process you do. Break an edge, turn it off on the edge you don't want it.
And I just turned it off. I didn't delete it.
Okay, that might be the difference. let's get into Nina's question. Oh, she sent me a PDF. Let me bring that up quick. Nina's having an issue with this kind of a deal where she's got an 8-foot ceiling here and a 12-foot ceiling here, and this is not showing. Okay. So in a nutshell, the reason that's probably not showing is because the you may not have a wall there. First of all, that'd be the first thing I'd look at to see if you have a wall there, either an attic wall or just a plain old wall. If this is a roof plane, a ceiling plane, and the ceiling plane covers the wall, sometimes that'll cut the top of the wall off. So let's take a look at how you address that. So let me go to a 2-story plan. Let me just go to this one. Get rid of that roof. Let me start over. This plan's messed up. All right, so we're going to go like this. And we're going to make this part 8 feet. That's going to be 8 foot or 9 foot tall, and this is going to be, we're going to add 4 feet to it. We go plus 4 feet. So we've got a 13-foot ceiling. Okay. So when I look at this, it should be fine. Oh, of course, I'm seeing a wall here, which I don't want. So if I delete that, what did I do wrong? Oh,
you need to use a room divider, right?
Yeah, I need to make that an invisible wall. So click on the wall, make it invisible. Duh.
Dan,
all right,
does it have
make
to
sure.
Be, Dan,
yeah.
Does it have to be an invisible wall, or can you use a room divider?
Same thing. That's
okay.
what a room divider is.
Okay.
A room divider is an invisible wall. So that's this thing right here. So when you draw that through, initially it'll just appear as a single line. But whenever you do something with this line, it will turn into an invisible wall.
Okay.
I don't know why it does that. You have any idea why it does that sometimes, John?
Why it turns into a wall all of a sudden?
Yeah.
I haven't paid enough attention to try to figure it out.
I haven't either. But essentially that's what it is. It's just a real thin invisible wall that at some point in my plans, when I do something, it turns into a full thickness of 4-inch invisible wall. So if we look at the dialog for that, we're going to see it's a wall and it's just marked as invisible. And the wall type is called room divider, which is what? It's a 0-inch wall with the insulation air gap. Maybe it won't do it. Maybe they fixed it. I don't know. But you're right. A room divider would be a perfect wall to put there because it's.
Try changing the ceiling height in that one room and see if it turns it into a wall.
Oh yeah, let's see if that does it. That might be it. Yep, there it was. That's what it was.
So I think anytime it comes off of another wall, like off the corner of that, like the other one there you have, it comes off the corner, it's going to make it a wall there. And if you change the ceiling height, it's going to make a wall.
That's what it was. Yep, you nailed it, John. Thank you. All right, so if we go look at the 3D of this now, we'll see we have a deal right here. And it looks to me like that's wide open right now. We don't have anything covering that space. So all I would do is I would take this wall here. Let's go copy that up to the second floor and paste and hold it into the same position. Okay. And let's make it not invisible. Let's open it up and uncheck invisible. So it's now a solid sheetrock wall. And does it fill it in? It did not.
Go look at the other. Is that other backside still higher than the rest of it? Because it looked like it filled it in on the backside.
Yeah, it might have.
I guess
you took
it
right there.
You took it out of there.
Oh, that other wall. Yeah, I did. I got rid of that. But here's what it did. Of course, there's no roof on the plan to control a few things. So let's just try something real quick. It might be easier to make this work copying and pasting that wall is probably not the right thing to do. What I should have done is copy the siding wall. Well, actually, let's put a roof on the thing first. Let's build a roof. Okay, now let's see if that's there. Sometimes a roof will get the program to do some things. Here it kind of did. That's really weird. I've never quite seen it do that before. But if we go look at our attic now, I'm going to copy this siding wall because that would line up better. So kind of put a wall in there. So I'm just going to paste that attic wall and pull that over. And basically all you got to do is get a wall in there somehow, and it should fill it in, making sure that things are lined up properly. God, it's still not working. It's even doing it backwards.
You really messed it up.
Boy, I really did. Good one, Nina. Okay, let's think about it.
Maybe you should start a new plan because you had trouble. Is this the same plan you had?
No, this is a new plan. I started a new one. This is really weird.
Yeah,
Usually
I've never
this
seen it
works
do
just
that
fine.
before.
I know, isn't that something? Let's try rebuilding the roof again. Okay, so it's interacting with the inside and outside wall. That is really weird.
This is
usually putting a wall in there works fine.
Do you still have your auto roof turned on?
No, I'd never had that turned on.
Why don't you auto rebuild the roofs once?
It's not doing anything.
Is that wall invisible still?
On the bottom?
Uncheck invisible wall.
Well, that'll probably take care of it, but that won't give us the look we want. So if I turn off invisible, this icon.
Look, something's not aligned. Look at that. Go back.
Well, yeah, I mean, I used a 6-inch wall up there.
But they weren't aligned. And that's one thing that I found. Everything has to be in alignment for it to work.
Yeah. Very strange. Oh, I see what happened. Their wall went up like that.
The roof is cutting the wall off. It didn't properly define the roof there.
No.
Wall and roof relationship.
The simple, stupid little plan, this should have worked just perfect.
Yeah.
No, this is why I always say Chief broke something in their damn program again, because this used to work just fine. We'll blame it on Chief. But it's probably operator error. And okay, since I screwed up this wall, I need to reset it back to default wall top. All right.
I got some comments about the roof cutting it off, and that's exactly what's happening. It looks like on that side, the roof is cutting it off.
It is,
but it shouldn't have because you auto built the roof.
Yeah.
Unless because you had the attic wall in there, maybe that caused it to do.
No, it shouldn't have anything to do with anything. Shouldn't even know that it's there. All right, let's do the when we don't know what else to do solution. Here's what I would do. Okay, so let's reset. Let's just rebuild the roof again, which I thought I had auto turned on. Okay. So it is trying to wrap around to the inside of that wall, which is highly unusual. Although it's building okay here now. All right, so when all else fails, we just revert to molding polylines. This used to be something we had to do all the time with workarounds. And now it's not working.
But now is that because those two walls aren't in alignment like John was saying? Go back to your, see, because it's not in alignment? Is that?
No, they're all lined up fine. They're lined up on the inside, which is where I want them. Chief's adding some weird stuff in the attic, which I don't want. So I'll just get rid of that. This is a good one, Nina. You got it. It's not doing what it's supposed to do. And I really am gonna say that I think they broke something in the program because this has always worked just fine.
Go to the roof planes once. I'll show you roof planes. And click on the, yeah, see that's going through the wall there. It's drawing the roof to your attic wall.
It is drawing the roof to the interior wall, which it should not be doing.
Right.
Let's change this. Let's just do this. Let's pull this through our full 6-inch wall. So there's nothing to differentiate. Let's just break the wall. Let's just break the wall here. Let's open its dialog. Let's make it invisible. I guess I could have just clicked the invisible button. All right. So now we've got the same thickness wall going all the way. And let's rebuild the roof again. Oh, I had auto rebuild on. So now it should be, now it's on the outside of the wall all the way up. So that part should be fine. And Chief usually does even a good job of filling this stuff in too.
So why isn't it filling that in?
I don't know.
Did it put an attic wall in?
Oops. No. Well, yeah, let's get rid of these old ones that were in there. Okay, so now it put in these newer ones to match. So that filled in fine now. So at least that one worked. Yeah, it's really acting weird. Let's see if I can pull this through. Just overwrite the existing walls that are there. And
that happens periodically to him, and it frustrates him. And I guess the main thing that I've found is if things aren't lined up perfectly, the attic wall and the interior wall and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's where it starts to go haywire.
Yeah, but this shouldn't be happening here. This is something bad. This should be, Chief should look at this. Here's what I would do to fix the inside. Let's go draw a molding polyline there. So just use the slab tool. Let's get a box in here to fill that in. Because at some point you go, die to hell with that. Let's just fix it and move on. Because it isn't worth spending all this time on.
But don't fix it until you're done with stuff.
Well, yeah, try your best to solve it, but
no, that's not what I mean. If you're not done moving walls around and things like that, don't fix it until you're done moving walls around, because then you got more stuff you have to move around.
Yeah, true. So what I just did is I drew a CAD box, and I'm going to take that CAD box and I'm going to stretch it to the surface of the sheetrock here. And the siding is okay on the outside, so I'll leave it there. Sometimes I might need to go and draw a little box over here to cover that too. This is just unacceptable.
Sometimes I just paint the stud on that corner.
If you can, yeah. If that'll work. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Like right now, it's not working. Try painting the object. Yeah. So I'd need to put a slab, just put a little 1/16 of an inch surface on top of that.
The other thing you could try would be to break that wall on that side. It's a one continuous.
Yeah,
wall.
You could, but the trouble is the breaks always undo themselves if you touch the wall.
You just have to make a new wall type quick.
So this is how I would solve that. I don't know why it was doing that. So don't feel bad. It's just the one it's doing. Just put a slab there to fix that, fill that in, and you're good to go. I mean, it'll look good. It won't frame or anything, but I mean, it'll look like it's supposed to. And if it's, I'm too low here, so I'll just lift that up to the top side of the sheetrock, and now the sheetrock comes out. So there you go. I hope that helps. You're not alone on that one.
No.
Which, again, I really expected this just to work by putting an attic wall in, because that's all I normally ever do. Just go up into the attic and draw a wall. An attic in Chief Architect is just another floor in the program where Chief stores the walls that it creates for your attic, for the gable ends and things like that, because it can't put the gable end walls on the first floor. It has to put them on a floor above. So every time you add a new floor in Chief, it will add a new level called attic. Don't ever draw rooms in an attic. It's not meant for that. It's just meant for a place for Chief to store the automatic walls that it creates. All right, let's move on a little bit on that, off of that one. Strange. Go figure. What do we got? Okay, I've got.
Here's a question similar.
So I've got an addition on an exterior gable wall, half the width. So the new addition is vaulted, but the attic wall that was exterior, now interior, won't change material. Okay, here's probably why it's not changing the material. So if I make this a, let's make this a gable wall. Because I had auto roof still turned on, it made it a gable right away. So I just click this icon down here where you can make it a gable or a hip. If you've used, so if I bring up a 3D view, and I think what I'm reading here is that you've changed the gable wall to a different wall type. Is that what?
Yep.
Okay.
Right.
So I'm going to open the wall type and I'll select something stucco 6. Okay.
And there's an addition coming off of that.
There's an addition coming off of this.
Was it a gable wall? Yep, exterior gable wall.
Now the interior won't change material. All right. So did you by chance use the eyedropper tool? Change the material on the wall? That would be my first question. Because if I take the eyedropper tool and I change the material on that wall using the eyedropper tool, and I just put roof shingles on it because it was handy. And then if I go in and change that wall to a new wall type now. So if I, now it says stucco 6. Let's say I go change it to board and batten 6. And I click OK. And it's like, oh, where's my board and batten? It's there behind the shingles. All right. When you use the eyedropper tool to paint a material onto a wall, it's like you're skim coating that wall. All right. And that skim coat will stay there until you remove it. And the way you remove that skim coating is to open the wall, go to the materials tab. Here's where I spray painted on that asphalt roofing gray. Now you need to just reset that as a default material so that so Chief will use. So I'm just going to scroll to the top of the list here and hit use default. So now Chief will use whatever the material of the wall is. And now it will be the board and batten. Okay. So just be aware when you use it. It's okay to use the paint, the eyedropper and spray can to put materials on things. Just be aware when you replace those types of items with something else, you've got a coating on top of the wall that you got to get rid of. It's a pain in the butt, but it's what it is. I wish they'd give us a little button that I could just click on a wall to reset it to default. That would be handy. So, so I always avoid using that as much as possible. I'll just create a new wall type with the material I want on it. How do you create a room in an attic space? You do not draw rooms in attics. Okay. Do not draw rooms in the floor level marked A for attic. Create a second floor and draw your rooms.
So you draw your second floor and draw your rooms in that and drop the roof. So it looks like an attic, but it's not.
Exactly. Yeah. So, in this particular house, if I were to make that a gable as well, see, it's not doing anything.
Or when you create the second floor, you could make the room height 1.5 inches or 0 or something like that. So it would draw the roof properly too.
Yeah. So if I were to add a second floor to this house, by going to the floor tools, build a new floor, second floor. I'll turn this on so I keep my ceiling heights below. This would be another way to fix that wall. Just add a second floor. But then again, if you've got a 2-story house, if you've just got a 1-story house, that wouldn't solve the problem. So now I've got a 2-story house. Okay. And I could, get it, I've got the auto roof turned on. So if I would just go into that room and I just make the ceiling height for that room like 1 inch tall, of course, it's going to put that roof way back down low because that's how Chief puts roofs on a plan, is based on the ceiling height of the room next to where the roof is being drawn. Puts that baseline based on the ceiling height. All right, I need to get to a question that, where'd it go? Gregory sent me. really good question. Very good. I hope, yeah, you're on the call. PEB, what's this? Problem exists between keyboard and chair. PEBCAC. I like that. Good one, Greg. Not always with Chief, though. Not always with Chief. You know, in this 3D modeling world, sometimes something goes wrong. All right. So, good one. I like
oh, my
that.
God.
So, Gregory does a lot of historic restoration. And sometimes they'll take a house. And, you know, with a historic house, you can't always, this is really ugly. With a historic house, you can't always take and add an addition on or raise the roof up and do things. So sometimes what they'll do is they'll, you know, if they have a crawl space, they'll maybe add more room by going down. Or if they have a crawl space where they can only have to lift the house up a couple of feet to get the headroom they need, they'll just lift the house. They call it a house lift. All right. And this question was, how can I show the new versus the old in a plan? And can I do that in one plan? Well, my first comment would be, no, don't do it in one plan. Because you're 3D modeling in Chief Architect. I mean, if all I was doing was 2D stuff, yeah, I could do that in one plan, no problem, just by turning layers on and off. But in a 3D plan, when you have a plan drawn and then you want to make adjustments to the floor and ceiling heights, so you want to make the basement bigger or you want to raise the, you know, you typically, even if you're going to lift the house in Chief, you would just adjust the terrain down. You wouldn't lift the house up. Okay, the house is going to be where it is once you draw it. And when you're affecting the lower level, again, just lower your terrain and then add on to the basement level to make it go down more. So that's my first recommendation. Don't try changing all the floor heights. Don't raise the floor height up 2 feet and the ceiling height's 2 feet. Just keep that alone. Just lower your terrain. So if you have a terrain, let me throw a foundation on here real quick. So I'm going to build a foundation. Okay. And let me throw a terrain perimeter in. That's this little right there. So that just throws a CAD box around your property that you can contour it to make it the terrain for your project. All right. So when I open that and look at it, there's my terrain. It's just a CAD box that you can move up or down in your plan. So when I click on that, I'm going to make it, I like making mine, you know, thicker. So I'm going to make the whole box thicker. Then I'm going to uncheck automatic. Right now, the top of the terrain is 20 inches below 0. That's the top of the floor sheathing on floor 1. All right. So if I want to look like, okay, I'm going to raise this up 2 feet. I'm just going to take the terrain and I'm just going to make this number bigger. Make that 24. So I'll add 24 inches to it. And that'll just lower the terrain. Leave the rest of the model alone. Okay. That's a real simple way to do that. Now, to show new versus existing, what I'm going to do is just show you I'm going to change this over here. We'll add something in this corner just so you can see how this works. I thought of about 3 different ways to do this after you sent me that email. And we can talk more about this if you want. So let me just go ahead and draw a wall here. I'm going to add a little room on here. Okay. So actually, not yet. Here's my as-built. This is the existing structure. It's all done. Let me put this terrain back up to 20 inches. Okay, so this is my as-built. It's all done. I'm going to save it. I'm going to call it my as-built. And I'm done with that. So you finish that as-built as much as possible. Really do a nice job on that. Now I'm ready to create a new plan. I'm not going to do the dotted lines right now. I'm just going to show you this in 3D. So I'm going to make a copy of that. So I'm going to save as, put my as-built away, and I'll call this my new plan. And hit save. All right, now I'm in my new plan, put my as-built away, and now I'm going to make some changes here. So, okay, let's do it like I did this kind of wrong, but let's do it this way anyway. So I'm going to add a little room here, throw a window in, throw another window in, and here's the result of that. even uglier. All right, and that's kind of historic looking.
Looks like a remodeling.
Yeah, exactly. We're not promoting that by any means. So let's click on the terrain, and we're going to add, we're going to lower it by adding 24 inches in difference between the floor and the, so now we've added going down, and this is going to be a little addition too. We put a foundation under it. But now I want to show that feature, that change in the as-built. So what I could do is I can open my as-built plan. Let's go back to that. And you could vice versa this too. If you have your new one and you want to attach the as-built to it, you could do that too. So I'm going to open the as-built, and I'm going to show via reference the new plan. I'm going to get in here and save this. Okay, so let's get back here, and I'm going to bring up a 3D view so you can see this. All right, there we go. So this is one of the ways you could do this. I could export a 3D model of my other plan and bring it in and place it over the top of this, and I could see all the differences and turn the model on and off. I could also use the reference settings. So when I click on the floor number, what I'm going to do is I'm in my as-built now, and I want my reference to be another plan. And that reference is going to be that new plan. So we'll call it the new plan. Okay, so now the as-built is going to reference my new plan. When I click OK, now I can see the difference. I can see what's been changed here. It's going to come in a glass house mode, and I think I can change that to a standard, so I could show the actual. So I'm actually looking at the as-built with the new information referenced on top of it. So, you can view it by the full-blown render view. I don't know if that would change to a vector view. Well, it does look different here in a vector view. I've never really tried that before. Physically based, technical. Yeah, the technical illustration highlights it pretty well. Or the again, I could go back to my reference and go glass house and see it that way. And so it's kind of like you're XREFing the new plan over the existing plan. Although you can't select, I can't do anything here in this. Although if I go back to my new plan and I change something, say I add another window here and I save that, that should be referenced in my plan now, and it's updated with the two windows now.
So can you show us where those reference layers are at?
The XREF layer, these?
Yeah, are they still coming from the same spot on the? Are they still coming?
Well,
there's still a layer set, right?
Yeah, it's still showing. So yeah, so 3D full and over. So I'm showing the same layer set. Now I could also do this on my floor plan. If I go to the floor plan of the as-built, okay, and I want to XREF the new plan on top of this, and again, you could do it vice versa, but I'm in the as-built, and I'm going to reference the as-built here. So now if I just turn on my floor, let's see, how do I do this one again? How do I do that one again? First floor.
You have to change the plan that's getting referenced.
Oh, was it the wrong one? I didn't even notice. Oh, yeah, it is. It's the same. So here's I know I got to go new plan. Oh, yeah. So new plan referencing the as-built. There it is. So now it's showing. So this is another way you could show as-built versus new. Okay. Mm-hmm. I always show a way where I create dotted CAD lines, but this is another way that you could do that. And it's showing up in red here, and that's the layer set called reference, plan reference. So if you wanted to change that reference display set, see everything's red here. So if you want to change that, you just change whatever layers you want. I'll just change them all to blue.
And you can also make a copy of that reference layer set and make a different one if you want to. Like I do that for my plumbing fixtures when they're going in a concrete slab for my plumbers. I make a different reference plan files so that it just shows up the plumbing fixtures.
Yeah.
So if I end up moving them, I don't forget and give them the wrong plan.
So Gregory, I don't know if that will help you or not, but I thought I'd show you how that works. It's a nice feature in there, and if you use it properly, it can work really well. But a lot of times I'll just use CAD lines. I'll make them a different color. I could go into my plan. I could export. I could turn this into a CAD detail. So I could go like this, CAD detail from view. So now it's a bunch of CAD lines. I could click on that, highlight that, and hit copy. I could go back to my other plan. I'm going to go back to my, let's see, this is okay, I'm doing this backwards, but I'll just show you the process. So if I go back to this plan now, I could open up that elevation. And if I just hit paste and hold position, so you go paste. So I just copied that view I made into a CAD detail, and I'm going to paste and hold position and put it right on top of it. And so there it is. So I used to do this before we had all this other tools in Chief. Like if I wanted to show a house that was one level and I wanted to show the second floor on top of the as-built, I could do that just by copying and pasting the CAD lines and show the difference. And then I could turn that layer on and off, which it's turned off right now. So that was one way to do it. You could do that. Another way you could do this would be to do a 3D view. So bring up a 3D view. You could save this in the as-built before you do it. Save the location of this view. So we hit the save view button. Then I would make a CAD detail out of this. Again, hit the CAD. I have to go to vector view first. Make a CAD detail out of this. Then I would copy this. Actually, before I do that, I have to copy the camera that I just saved into the other plan, which you could do. You can copy and paste 3D cameras. So I could paste and hold position. There's that same camera. Now I could go back to my view that I just created, CAD detail out of. Copy that. Go back to that saved camera. Find the right one. I'm going to have a few too many windows open here. Where'd it go? Anyway, I'd go. I must have where's the camera that I just saved? There it is. So open that and then paste and hold position here. No, it didn't work. Should have worked. I'm doing something wrong, but
assuming we can get it to work, can you dimension off of that?
No, I can't. Actually, I can't paste into a 3D window. What I have to do is create a CAD detail out of both views. Create a CAD detail out of that, CAD detail out of the other one, put those together in a CAD detail window. I can't paste. I can paste CAD stuff in an elevation, but not in a 3D camera. No, you cannot dimension in this.
But you could put dimensions on in the CAD detail and change the value of it.
You could,
to get the right value.
Yeah. In fact, if I were to go here, I'm in a CAD detail window. I could add dimensions here. Kind of.
But is that the right dimension though?
Yeah, that should be correct. It should be to scale if you can get it the right. You have to align it with the right spot here. So 19.1 and 19'2" basically.
If it's not the right dimension when you go to your plan, can you show us quick how to change that?
That's not the right dimension.
Should be 10'4".
Oh yeah. So if in the 3D view, if I want to show that, I could rescale the drawing to be the right size, or I could just open the dialog for that dimension, and I could go to segments. And I could say, make this suppress the dimension, but put this number in here, 10'2", and that's what will show up in there now. So you could just, I suppose, do a CAD line too. Might be easier actually.
So
what would happen
you can make
if
that dimension parallel to use the make parallel tool to make it parallel to the bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Show length.
Margaret's asking if you can paste copy and paste a CAD detail from one plan to another plan? Yes, you can.
Absolutely. Yeah. You can copy and paste anything from one plan to another, except elevation cameras. I think
So we got 3 questions that I see, and if I miss one, just repost it so we get it another time. But there was a question about pole barns that we really don't have time for, and the curved stair probably don't have time. But if you wanted to tackle that one, that's up to you, Dan. But
you can paste elevation cameras now. Cool. All right, you can copy and paste elevation cameras now. It's a new X13. Curved stairs, curves plan to plan. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we never used to be able to copy an elevation camera. In fact, let's try one thing real quick. Even better yet, let's see if I can draw some CAD details in it. Oh yeah. And let's close that. And now let's copy this camera and let's paste that into our other plan, our as-built plan. And I use the paste hole position. Let's open it. And my stuff is still there.
Cool.
That is cool.
That's really cool. You know what that means? You could save that camera in your template with all your notes and stuff on it, and then just reposition your notes so you don't have to type them in on every plan.
Cool. Yeah, that's true. That opens up lots of opportunity. Curved stairs, real quickly.
So the question is, how do I get my run to be the proper run?
I don't know, to be perfectly honest with you.
I have an idea, but I want to work on it.
The way I would draw a curved stair would be to, here's what I normally do in a plan. If I want to add some curved stairs, I'll draw a wall and I'll make that wall curved. And then I'll draw some stairs along that wall and it'll follow them up. Okay, so that's fine. What I almost always do when I'm getting into those specialty stairs is I go to my library for arcways and I get the detail that is what I need. So go to your manufacturer catalog, download the arcways catalog if you don't have it, and find the stair system that you want to use in your plan. Okay, so I want that one. So I'm going to put that on my floor plan. Well, let's get the right one here. So I'll ungroup that and I'll put this, layers got shut off. So I put that all in one layer and then I'll just use that in my plan to represent my stair. And then what I'm going to do is try to get my chief stair to match that as close as possible so I can show something in 3D. So I would go and I would draw some stairs in here like this, get them close. Okay, and then I could go here and I could break the stair and I could then hold my right mouse button down. Oops, not supposed to do that. All right, let's get back here. You got to get a break in there. Yep, so now I've got a break. So now I'm going to bend.
What's going on there?
That's odd.
I looked to see if you had concentric on, but
no, I don't. So let's try it a little different. So let's add 2 stair sections together by joining them. And then I would, so that now it's 1. So if I click here, oh my goodness, what's going on?
That's interesting.
That's not working. I'm supposed to be able to
click on the other one and take the arc out of it.
No, it does the whole thing or none of the thing.
Huh.
That is something new to me.
Yep.
Usually you could go like this and you could put these together and then I could bend. Let's try the Alt key. I was using my right. No, it's doing the whole damn.
Try doing it with a sidewalk quick once and see what happens, or just a straight line even.
Straight line. Got a break in there. Oh, that works fine. So again, I should be able to do the same thing by clicking. Again, that line is going down the stairs. It's broke right there. So we've got 2 separate lines. And I should be able to grab this one and bend it. But it's bending the whole darn line.
That one almost looked like it healed the break.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, they broke something there. Absolutely.
Yep.
If I were to go into X12, let's still have done it next 12. Haven't done this in a while.
So another question that might be simple to answer quick is this vaulted dormer one. And Bruce, was it Bruce? Yeah, Bruce, if you want to send Dan an email, I'd be happy to work on that with you a little bit more. I have some ideas on how we can do that.
That's what it's supposed to do. I'm in X12 right now. So I'm supposed to be able to bend just that piece of the stair. And I did the same, there's something broken in X13. Just found a bug. A bad one too.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I suppose I could do it by taking a stair and taking another stair and doing my bending ahead of time and then join them together by just using the point-to-point tool. You know, I'll snap that to that and, you know, there you go. That's another way to do it. But anyway, so I'd use the arcway drawing to get my stair in. It's going to display everything correctly. I'm going to do a 3D stair to get it close. So I'll have something in 3D to look at. And again, the disclaimer on your plan is always the 3D views are not what it's really going to be. And you would show the client the catalog. Stairs and Chief still have a ways to go. Vaulted dormer on a vaulted main roof. Let's see here. What do I got? I don't even remember what I drew here anymore, John. Let's make this open below. Oops. As usual, we're running over.
Yep.
It's pretty normal for these cheap things. Stuff is fine. All right, so let's so we want to put a dormer here. We just want to use the dormer tool. Sorry, wrong tool.
Are you using the floating dormer or which one are you using?
Well, I'd have to use a floating dormer for this because I don't have walls drawn on the inside. Right. All right, so there's my dormer, which again, I must have I don't have the flat ceiling turned off. Plus I don't have the right ceiling height. So I should turn the ceiling off in that room, and then Chief will put the sheetrock in there. So
did it vault it? It did vault it.
It did, yeah, because I took the flat ceiling off.
So the flat ceiling for the room takes it off the dormer and the.
Correct.
Is there a way to put a flat ceiling back in the dormer? But
you'd have to make the dormer a room by itself.
Okay.
So you'd have to close that off. Again, you could use that room divider wall. I believe to do that. No, it's not going to do it until I unblock the dormer. Yeah, and now I could make that a room. Maybe. Something's not right.
Are those no room definition?
I don't know. Yep, they were. No room def. That happens. Now I've got a thing I can make flat ceiling. I need to watch my floor and ceiling heights, turn open below on, all of that good stuff. But I could make that flat independently of the room itself. Yeah, I'd have to adjust all my ceiling heights and stuff. I don't have any of that in place. But yes, that can be done. One more quick one. What do we got? And again, John said, whoever asked that question, by all means, please do that. Car coning stair segments move separately. That's a question he's asking.
I think you did that. That's about the time you were joining those two stairs together.
Yeah, that's a good question, though, because that's a default setting in Chief for stairs.
There was a question early on about pole barns. I don't know if we'd have time to handle that today or not.
I can give just a super duper broad overview.
Mostly purlins on the roof. What was it?
It kind of works pretty well. How's that for an answer? You're going to draw some walls, set up your walls to be 8 inches or whatever size you want the posts to be. All right, so you're going to, on the wall type, you're going to define a framing style for the framing layer. Okay, so I want this to be 8 inches. All right. I want to add another, 8-inch posts. And then I want to add another frame, and I'm going to make those spacing every 48 inches. Okay. And they're going to be 8 inches. It's going to be lumber.
And that's going to be for an 8x8 post.
Correct. Every 48 inches.
Okay.
Then I need to add another layer. So insert above, and we'll make this 1.5 inches. And then we're going to change this to, it's framing material. You see how whenever you click on one of these things, when you insert above or below, whatever you have highlighted, it's going to make a copy of that item. You don't see a copy button here. So if I insert below, you see I get the same material. So keep that in mind when you're doing these. So here I want to have my spacing every 16 inches, but I want that to be horizontal framing. Okay, so it runs opposite direction of the posts. Then I'm going to run the bottom elevation of the first board, 12 inches. You could do a lot of this, and then I click OK.
Oh, how did it know to make it a 2x4 or 2x6?
Oh, that's true. How did it know that?
Right there.
3.5. I'm going to go 3.5 because I've made the thickness here, and that's the height of the board. Okay, so we'll go like that. Okay, and click OK. So now when I frame the walls here, when I do the framing, and I look at the framing, I should have what look kind of like a pole barn.
Put a window in there. And then you have to reframe it again.
You do have to reframe it, yeah. The roof is the same basic concept as the walls. You're creating a roof with different framing members. One is, but you got to remember to check. You got to remember in the roof dialog and the wall dialog, you have to make sure you click on that and say horizontal framing. It's a new setting that you have to do right there.
And that will follow up the pitch of the roof properly.
Correct. Yeah, that actually works pretty well. So it's going to get you close. It's going to get you a really good start into getting that done. Holy smokers. So yeah, the posts around that window are the same size as the rest. That's one heavy duty window.
Mm-hmm. Normally on a pole barn, you'd put the window between the posts.
Yes, or you'd space out. Typically, you're going to do a bit bigger spacing on those posts too. So, but that's the general concept. I think Chief, if you go to YouTube and Google pole barns and Chief Architect, I think there's a few videos out there that'll show you how to do that pretty well. Had enough. Looks like we lost Robin. She's gone.
She's gone.
She said she had to leave.
Yeah.
Hey guys, thanks. Was there anything else?
I think we touched on everything. If we didn't,
yeah, just drop us a line. John and I are glad to help anytime. Have questions like that. For quick questions, we'll just send you a quick answer. If it takes a little bit more than that, we might have to do some one-on-one stuff with you. So, but we're glad to help. All right. With that, you guys have a great Friday and rest of the weekend, and happy Thanksgiving coming up soon. So, Josh, I can't believe it. Next Thursday's Thanksgiving already.
Yep.
It's amazing.
And hopefully I get to meet my new grandson sometime within the next week here.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Yeah. How old is he now?
Well, he's not yet.
Oh, coming up.
Yeah.
Brand's being
born any day now.
Is this Becca?
Yep.
Oh, you just told me she was pregnant.
Yeah.
But that was a few blinks ago. All right, you guys. All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time. Dan and John signing off. Bye.
We'll see you.